Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of Boat Marketplace. Today we are on the absolute stunner Fairline Targa 40. I know we did a video last week on the Fairline Targa 40. That was the 2001 model. This is a 2025 model, and let's have a look through the biggest changes that have happened over the 24 years, because I can tell you a lot has happened and this boat represents a lot. So before we keep talking, let's give you a spin round and let's have a look through this boat. And we're starting off sat not at the helm but next to the helm, and we've got this gorgeous picture looking straight out the front of the boat. I could quite happily sit here and watch as the driver's going to be over there in the twin helm seat. They're going to be sailing away looking straight ahead out that gorgeous window and with these amazing instruments in front of them. So a nice Fairline logo embossed into the steering wheel there. We've got Volvo throttle quadrants with the joystick. Interesting, it's not an IPS drive, but it has got bow thrusters on as well. And with the twin engines, you still have good manoeuvrability. Everything's updated. We've got the Garmin screens, as I'm sure you'd expect, and even just in case you need it, we've got that compass up top. And if you're sat here on a day like today, you're probably thinking, well, there's not much sunlight. This entire roof, you can see its fabric expands all the way back, allowing this whole area to open up, giving lots of light through, and even meaning you could probably stand up and look over top of the roof as you're cruising away. That sounds quite nice, especially on a day like today. Over back to where I was sat then when we started the video, that's, I can tell you, a really gorgeous area, even with that laid back style up there looking back towards the boat, where if we cruise back towards the rear, you can see this. Now, to begin with, everything's looking a little bit open plan, but that's probably fairly similar to a lot of new modern house styles, and I do quite like the feature allowing this wet bar with the sink and the grill to be very inclusive of everyone that's sat here. We've got a seat here, we've got the chairs there with the table, excuse my bag of water, and I think it's all very inclusive and very sociable. On the wet bar we've also got a bin, and we've got a sink, which is, sorry, not a sink, a fridge, that's the one. It is still wrapped up, because like I said, this boat is brand new, currently advertised with boats.co.uk. And I believe we've got a little bit of storage on the side there. Look at that. There we go. Just if you need to keep any glasses or anything in there. Pop this back down. And as we kind of come towards the side, we've got a couple of fuel handles and that fire switch there. Nothing like safety on board the boat. And we'll talk about it in a minute as I take you round. But I will just draw your attention to this as, excuse the camera work, we've got a nice sort of step. That's to step up onto the side. I'll take you around the front in a little bit, but you don't have to go that way. You can go around the back, and I'll show you that. The reason you can step up to the side there is because all of these covers all come off, and you can see the framework up the top, meaning it all folds up quite nicely and just lets this whole boat completely breathe, letting tons of air flow through. And then, as we're kind of talking about the seating area already, love this design. A couple of cup holders here, but if you flip the table over, the cup holders will be blocked, so they put another couple of cup holders there. It's the little things that you need to think about. And I did notice as well, we've got storage underneath this lovely Targa logo, and I believe that is for if you want the table out the way, that will sit quite comfortably in there. So looking back then, you might have noticed already, these seats have got cushions that do move. although I can't seem to get them to move. Let's try pulling the handle, that would probably help, wouldn't it? There we go. So you can see with this one, the cushion moves. That creates a fantastic sun pad because you're probably not going to be wanting to sit at the dining table the entire time. And this is where this boat starts to get quite intelligent. Now, the last week's video we were talking about a garage. You're probably thinking there's not much room for a garage on this. Well, they've done it. Under this side, you might just notice that that folds up. We've got the switches down here for the garage and the engine bay. So this whole section folds up. That's where your garage is, underneath this seat. The engine bay, if we give you a little turn, is this whole section. You might see the cutout in the floor. That whole seat lifts up for the engine bay. However, if you just want a quick access, let me show you what a couple of Volvo Penta D6 engines look like on a brand new boat down here in the engine bay. And there is quite a lot of room because there's quite a lot of systems in here, but it all looks like a nice space. If you need to do any work on anything, got the circuit breakers, we've got a fire extinguisher down here, the fuel tank. It's all really nicely laid out, and it looks like if you're going to do any work on it, actually a bit of a dream to work on. But that's the engine bay. Like I said, a couple of Volvo Penta D6s, some nice fender racks. Always need storage for fenders. Always. You can never have too many fenders on the boat. And that is this section. So what I do, like I mentioned about that step, I'll take you out the front. Let's have a look to see what's going on out there. Before we do that, you can see we've got a lovely swimming platform off the back of this, and you might even be able to grab a glimpse. There's those two Volvo Pentas, both of them duo props. So this thing will absolutely pick up in a second. That's lovely. That's really, really nice. It's a really sleek boat. Okay, so let's take you up the side. You can see cleats. Love this feature. Cleats that fold away. That's so smart. We've got a little shower. There's your diesel, and nice handrails as well. I mentioned in the last video, I'm not a huge fan of the heights, so the handrails are massive. They're really big. And you can see this whole area up front here is a wonderful area. You get nice cushions laid out the whole way along the front of this, and that just screams sunbathing and drinking and having a good old time out in the water, and everything's all nicely put away. For instance, we've got the electric windlass here underneath the cover, nicely hidden with the up and down switches. Yeah, it's a stunner of a boat. And one thing I didn't mention, which you might have probably seen already, look at the size of that window. That is brilliant views, looking straight out, no obstructions with no A-pillars or anything like that down the middle. There's that roof that folds back. Let's take you back down into the boat again, where this is where it gets a little bit exciting, because the biggest difference I notice in the 2001 compared to the 2025 models is the style. We've already noticed these cushions, but when you step into the cabin, that's where it picks up. As we head down, and we've got this wonderful seating area. That is absolutely lovely, and I can tell you, very comfortable to sit in, with a TV. We've even got a mirror there. Hello everyone. And this is stunning. This is nicer than my house, and it shows as well what design they've put into, as we've got all of those glasses nicely secured but still very accessible, and the galley area, gorgeous woodwork with the steps, and I think a sensibly sized galley. Couple of stoves on board. you're going to have a fridge in there, lots of storage, both up and down, and huge windows. Don't know if you've seen, look at the size of these windows, letting loads of light in. Excuse the dehumidifier. It's to keep the boats nice and dry through storage. And while we're here, let's take a step back and go into the rear cabin, where we've got these 2 berths. Now, you might notice that they're weirdly shaped. That's because the beds slide together. You can make it a whole double bed, or you can leave it as 2 separate. Depends what you want. But again, nice size mirror, lots of storage behind the mirror as well. TV again, and a lovely sofa. Once again, this is a really comfortable boat. And like I said with the last Targa 40, it's a lovely size if you're a small family and you want to get away for a few days at a time. It really caters for everyone on board. Now, we've got the toilet, or the heads, down. We've got the sink, got plenty of mirrors in here, and we've got a full walk-in shower with that nice glass screen. Again, like I mentioned in the last video, just keeps it from walking on a wet floor with it nicely protected. A couple of towel rails. It's all the little features that really notice, especially like, for instance, you notice the latch is gone, so you don't catch yourself on the door. But as soon as you push the door to, a little magnet just pulls the latch out, so now it's secured. It's the little things like that. And that brings us into the front, where we've got this beautiful size bed. Excuse the box, that is just for storage of ropes that you'll get when you buy the boat. And again, it's looking at the design, the really lovely textures. You can see the biggest change between the 2001 and the 2025 model. Even with these large windows with the blinds just to close it off at night if that's what you need. Plenty of mirrors, that is me again. And we even have a TV in the bedroom with the door that goes through to the heads, and even a little dressing table. That's a lovely touch. And that brings us out back into the cabin area, or the galley area, and that is a wrap for everything on this boat this week. The price is currently set to the day of filming of around £733,000. A little bit more expensive than last week's boat, but I think it's safe to say with all of the upgrades you're really getting a lot for your money, and it's an absolute stunner. If you like this video, please do remember to give it a like. If you like all of the videos and you just want to support me just a little bit, please do subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week in the next boat video. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.